Alright, to actually track, you can simply put your mouse where you want it to, push the shift button on the keyboard, and you get a square icon. You click on what you want with the wheel, click it, and it puts a mark there to track it, and it advances 1 frame. So I shift and click again, and it keeps advancing it through. So you could do that all the way through here. There's an easier way to do this. Let me come back up here. Let's clear these steps out of here. Put it back to the start. Now, if I come up here in this where it says buggy again, let me drop down this menu, go to what's known as Auto Tracker. Click on Auto Tracker. Let me slide this out of the way so you can watch it happen. What this does is allows us to choose an area on here that it'll actually keep track of, so it identifies something in the video. So you want something that kind of stands out from everything else. We're going to actually track the wheel here. It works out pretty good. Something that's circular works the best. So instead of just coming out here in the screen, click on it again. I'm pushing shift, I get my square, but I want to do shift control now, and that gives me a circle. So I want to click on the wheel here. As you can see, it says here's what I'm looking for, and so it's looking for that image in each clip in the video as it'll bring it through. You can adjust the size of it here. You can click on this little box and make it a larger, smaller picture if you need to. You can drag it around, move it from place to place if you need to, if you're off just a little bit. And this dash box around here is the area where it's going to search at. In this case, there's 2 wheels on this buggy, so you want to make sure it doesn't catch up with itself. You can move this up here so it only stays, as it heads off to the right, it'll kind of stay in this box right here as we work through this. Alright, all this other stuff's not really important. It's pretty much standard settings. It'll work pretty much for these kind of things here. So let me click search, and do that, and you can see it found each of these little spots along the way here, and it marked every single one of them. Alright, so that looked pretty good. Didn't have any issues here, so I'll push close. Alright, so now I've gotten all of the data actually marked here, and it did it for me during that little clip that I had set up. Now you can look over here now. When that happened, you've got a graph that shows up. On the y-axis now, it's showing my x, which is my horizontal position, and you can see it moved along. Okay, kind of what we expect to see, kind of an upward move relative to time here. The data table shows up down here if you needed to see the specifics of the motion and the data that was going on here. Alright, so that shows you my x. Now, if I click on this x over here, I can change to all sorts of different things that it could be measuring here. I could look at its vertical position, which is useless now because we don't have one. You can come down here. What's important for us to look at will, as we do your videos, be like the velocities in the horizontal, the velocity in the vertical, or the y. You can also have it look at the acceleration, so it actually starts doing some calculations for you in here. The basic data is just the position, and then it can do some different calculations for you. Alright, so we have the x here that we're looking at. The last thing you want to be able to do with this then is, with this graph over here, we want to be able to actually analyze it, kind of see what it's specifically talking about in terms of numbers. Right, so for our purposes, if we look at a position versus time graph on this example, the slope is going to tell me the speed. So if I double click on this graph, it opens up another window, the data tool. Right, it shows the graph again, shows the data tables over here. So in this case, it shows on the horizontal axis the time, the vertical axis is the x position, and I can click here to take the line off. Can't take the markers off because it's the only set of data I have, but if you had multiple pieces going in here, you could see them at the same time. So I've got this. Maybe make this window a little bit bigger to see what's going on. And what we want to do with these is come up here where it says fit. Click that, and that gives us some more stuff down here, and what it does is it gives us a best fit line for our data, and it automatically comes up with a line fit. As you can see, here's your typical line equation, right? So instead of y equals mx plus b, it's got x, so it's using the actual y coordinate, and a is our variable for slope on here. It uses a, b's, and c's for its variables for different things. and then t is in place of the x-axis because it was time. And so that kind of shows what's going on there. So I can see the slope of the line over here, A, is 0.252 meters per second. Right, so it's telling us right there the number. It doesn't put the units in there, you've got to do that part of it. But it's telling you right here that your actual speed of your buggy was about 0.252 meters per second with that. In here there's some other things we can fit to. We can have a parabola fit. Alright, and this isn't a parabola, so it doesn't fit well at all. But you can change it to different things. And you'll be using mainly the line and the parabola fit as you go through the different parts of your analysis.